Southampton take on Liverpool. Is it currently the worst team in the league against the best team in the league? Being a Liverpool fan, I still don't believe that Liverpool are so far beyond the rest of the pack. I don't think Liverpool are the out-and-out best team because they are the best team. I think circumstance fixtures have worked very well, no injuries. But currently on paper, Liverpool are the best team.
Why are you scared?
Yeah. I'm not scared. I'm not
terrified. You don't want to get clipped up at the end of the season.
There's no
fear.
fear.
Your chest.
There's no fear. I just think at the moment, with everything else that's happening, Liverpool are the best team in the league. But I think there's lots of factors to that. But let's start with Liverpool. I think there's one thing that is definitively clear, that Mohamed Salah is the best player in the league.
Yeah, he's having another Mo Salah season, isn't he? Like you said, I mean, I always find it a little bit annoying when you say it, especially because last season it came in the comparison with Phil Foden, but he is inevitable. He is inevitable. He's one of the best players to ever play
Where
in the Premier
is
League.
Phil Foden today?
Yeah. Well, doesn't matter how many Premier Leagues does Salah have. Anyway, no, I mean, he's had another unbelievable season. Van Dijk as well, Trent. I mean, you've got those three undoubtedly world-class players. And Arne Slot's been a breath of fresh air. We said at the beginning of the season, you know, the only player I think you went in for was Zubamendi. That didn't happen. And then there was kind of an acceptance of Slot to say, I like the players I've got. I'm going to try and work with them. And they're just playing absolutely fantastic football from the front to the back. They've been brilliant. They've been without Alisson. That hasn't affected them at all, really. And you think he's probably the best keeper in the league. That hasn't really made any difference. The way he's got Curtis Jones playing, I'll be the first to admit last season and a few seasons before, I thought Curtis Jones was a bit of a nothing player, to be honest. I didn't expect this to come out of him. He's playing probably one of the most important positions in the Premier League and has been absolutely fantastic. And I think it's very early to say, and it's quite easy to say, but I think it kind of is in Liverpool's hands, because if they play to the level that they're playing now, they will walk away with the league. Arsenal are nowhere near as good as they were last year. City are nowhere near as good as they were last year. And Liverpool are playing in a style of football which is very different to their fans, and it's very different to what we're used to from Liverpool compared to the heavy metal under Klopp. But apart from Nottingham Forest, it's been a near-perfect season. And barring an injury to, say, a Van Dijk or a Trent or a Salah, I don't really see what's going to happen to change that.
What's interesting is, in terms of style, I think this game becomes really interesting because Southampton have the fourth highest average possession in the league, considering they're bottom of the league, and considering they've got the most errors leading to opponents' shots in the league. That almost falls into the trap of Liverpool pressing, but Liverpool also dominate the ball now under Arne Slot. Liverpool want to have possession. They want to sort of wear teams down and then catch them out, and they rotate left wingers frequently for that reason, depending on the game type. How do Southampton get something out of this game? Let's tackle that angle first. Like, what are Liverpool's weaknesses, if any, in this fixture?
They don't get anything out of this game, and I'll try and make a case for Southampton. In the games I've seen of this season against good teams, they make positive starts. You remember the game against Manchester United, and I think Archer misses a penalty, and the Man United going to win that game in the second half. But this is a Southampton team that do play progressive football. It's about getting it right, and it's about not isolating Archer, who does find himself up top by himself quite often. The problem for them is that they're coming up against a team in Liverpool that have got the Avengers. They've got four of the best players in the world, and one of them's coming back into the team in Alisson. You've got Alisson, you've got Trent, you've got Van Dijk, you've got Mo Salah. That not just four of the best players in the Premier League, four of the best players in the world. Four players that I think could walk into round just starting 11 right now. And so, and that tells you where Liverpool are at in comparison to the rest of the teams in the league. I know that at the beginning of the season, we didn't really fancy it. Everybody was crying out for them to go and get number 6. He's found a way to mitigate that circumstance, and that's where Arne Slot deserves a lot of credit. We did so many shows together talking about which number 6 to get. We thought Zubamendi was happening. It didn't happen. You got Gravenberch in there next to McAllister, who does hold his hand at times, but they found a great combination. Curtis Jones playing the best football of his career. And if we zoom out of it and we look at Liverpool and what people were saying heading into this tough run of fixtures. Remember, it was like, they've got 12 very difficult fixtures. They're 6 or 7 games into it, and the only time they've dropped points was against Arsenal, that 2-2 draw. They've won almost every single one of them. Beat Chelsea. They beat Brighton twice, once in the league and once in the Carabao Cup. Beat Leverkusen 4-0. Beat Villa 2-0. Just getting the job done against the best teams in the league. The next few days or next few games will be telling for Liverpool. Got Real Madrid. They've got Man City as well. If they win those games, it's their title to lose. And if you look at the game against Southampton, they will be posed threats because it's a Premier League game. But I expect Liverpool to get this game done and dusted within the first half.
I also want to just quickly touch on the psychological side of this. You know, I love psychology. Mo Salah said in an interview during the international break, I don't know if it was filmed during the international break, but it definitely came out at that time. He said that for him, Liverpool have to win every title possible and have to compete for every title. But I think for him, the line he drew was, I want to win every title going. Now, when you've got a guy like that who wants to do that on his own, I wonder what the knock-on effect on is to everyone else. And because of the position they're in now, they definitely didn't plan to be in this position. Do you think that's a good thing that you've got this one player that is saying he wants to win every single trophy, in particular this one? Or do you think that can add pressure to a situation that currently they're getting away with a little, not getting away with, but no one's talking about Liverpool if you know.
No, you want your leaders to be saying things like that. He's one of the best players in the world. Everyone who's playing with him will feel no pressure, I don't think, to play with him. I think they'll be honoured to play with someone like that on the pitch. And when he's saying, we can win every trophy, I believe we can win every trophy, you believe it yourself. You know what it's like, even in our industry, if you're with a presenter who you've looked up to for 10 years and they say something, not you, Kweku, you know what I mean, right? And they say something which like can galvanise the room, you then instantly feel better. It's the same in every single industry in the world, and it'll be exactly the same here. I think we spend a lot of time like talking about the sort of extracurricular events that happen around football when we're saying like who will win the league. It's like, it's Arne Slot's first season. Will he be able to do this? Will he be able to do that? If you had someone who had no interest in football and you stuck them and you let them watch every single match of the day this season, everyone who watched it would say that Liverpool are going to win the league. They are playing by far the best football. Mm-hmm. They're by far the best team. They've overcome every single challenge in front of them, apart from a very, very weird Forest game. So there's no reason for them not to be confident. I think as a supporter yourself, you're probably thinking you're a bit nervous. You're thinking it's unlikely, you didn't expect it to happen, particularly the first season after Klopp left. But there's no reason that it won't. I do think that this could be a slightly interesting game. I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit. I feel like Russell Martin's been a little bit unfairly done, to be honest. Same. I mean, I went down to Southampton a couple of weeks ago to speak to him, and all the players were around. And the way that group interacted with each other, you know what it's like when you go to a training ground. You can feel the vibe. It's a really good vibe there. They all feel really confident and they all feel positive that results are going to come. And I know I slated him at the beginning of the season and just said, be more pragmatic because it's frustrating for the fans. But they are starting to slowly pick up points. They're starting to concede a few less goals. They're starting to convert a few more of those chances. And as you mentioned, Archer scores that penalty against Manchester United. There's no reason that they can't go on to win that game. So there are a few little things that just haven't gone their way. And I wonder if this is the kind of game you look back on at the end of the season and you think, wow, I did not expect that to happen, but that changed the course of the title.
Not happening. I agree with everything you're saying about Southampton. I really like Russell Martin. I know you get slated, but I respect the fact that he's coming and sticking to his principles. And granted, it hasn't worked so far, but they've put in decent performances. They've got some players that I really like as well. Harvey Bellis obviously scored for England during the international break. I don't know if Diblin will start this game or not. He's lost his place and started 11 in the last few games, but he's built a good culture there. Whether the players are good enough to keep them up remains to be seen, but they take on a Liverpool side that are not just the best side in England, they're the best side in Europe. If we're being completely honest about it, they are the best side in Europe. They're playing the best football in Europe. And when they come up against juggernauts in not only domestic competitions, but also in European competitions, they're sweeping past them. This is a very, very special side, Nubaid. Embrace it, enjoy it. Because you're bottling it, right? I don't like the fact that you're deflecting. It's almost like when Jose Mourinho, when he came into Chelsea, he's like, "Oh, I've got this little horse that needs to be watered and nurtured." It's like, come on, man, you're Chelsea.
You know, before he gets in front of the mic, he's texting his mates, "Come on, the Reds, we've got this title." And then you come in, there's no confidence. Say it with your chest.
And I'm talking about Mo Salah. Before I let you finish, we've got Mo Salah that we are not just talking about conversations. Is he the best player in the Premier League this season? We're having conversations. Is he on Thierry Henry's level? Is he the greatest Premier League player of all time? This can be a last dance for not only Mo Salah, for Trent, for Van Dijk. They're in the last year of their contracts. There is extra motivation there. There's a case of like, not to discredit Arne Slot, but the players are driving this. The best players in the world are driving this. And there's something beautiful about this narrative. And I think that Liverpool will have too much for any opposition they come up against this season.
All right, well, I don't need to go into self-defense because you're just projecting your insecurity. Score predictions, please.
I really want to say 1-1. I've no idea why. I think Liverpool will win the league, but I do think 1-1.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
but sometimes you just have a feeling about certain things. I just have a feeling. It's been international break. I think Southampton have played well. I don't even think that their league position represents how they've played, particularly over the last month or so. And I just think they have absolutely nothing to lose going against this Liverpool side. It could just as easily be like 6-0.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not betting my life on it, but I just have a weird feeling that it could be 1-1.
3-0 Liverpool.
I'm going to go with 1-0 Liverpool. Boring game, I reckon.